Stories of heartbreak, stories of survival, and stories of hope all emerging from Maui. Thanks for joining us. I'm Denise Valdez.
And I'm Brian Loftus. No active threats. That is the official word tonight from Maui County on the Lahaina fire, which is still burning.
So here's a look at the numbers. There are now 99 confirmed fatalities from that fire. The fire is 85% contained and has burned 2,170 acres. And again, there is no active threat. 8 News Now investigative reporter David Charnes is on the ground in Maui. And David, well, what's the mood there tonight now that this death toll has continued to climb?
Well, Brian, Denise, the mood here is one of frustration. People wondering when more help will arrive, when they'll be able to get back to their homes now almost a week later. You know, we've talked about the loss of human life in this catastrophe, but a lot of people asking about people's pets. The local shelter here estimating 3,000 animals are affected, and they are preparing for an influx.
Honestly, are hoping to be inundated with animals.
Nearly a week after fires tore across Maui, the local Humane Society is bracing for more. Fires leaving pets stranded, some brought here for medical care. From dogs to cats, birds to a pig, there are about 24 animals in their care so far. Some badly burned, but alive. Much more could be on the way.
It's overwhelming, but it's like the drive to do it keeps you going.
Cassandra Christman is a volunteer who's witnessed survival stories like this.
And then all of a sudden there was a medical car coming here to bring a dog that a firefighter had scooped up and saved from the flames in Lahaina.
The Humane Society is reuniting lost pets with owners. Roman was missing in Lahaina for 3 days. Here he is, thanks to the workers here and his microchip. Volunteers are not only helping the animals on their property, but also feeding ones inside shelters with those who've lost their homes or have yet to go back.
We're still very much in this. The road to Lahaina is a one-way in, one-way out road, and you know, it took 4 hours for our humane enforcement officers to go 30 miles.
And as you saw there is a lot of good happening here, but it is hard to get around. You saw in that story, they just have pallets and pallets of food. Right now, if you saw that and that moved you, maybe you do want to give some money. They are asking for monetary donations, and we have a link to that right now on 8newsnow.com. Brian and Denise.
David, we know there's restrictions on journalists, obvious reasons, just letting volunteers in, but you've been to several different areas. Is there a need you see that is not being met at this time?
You know, that's a great question. I think that one of the big things that people need here is water. We met someone at a gas station when we first got here, and he said, you know, we just need the water to keep coming because they bring these pallets in and you have, you know, thousands of people in some of these places, and it just goes like that. Another thing that people are talking about that they will need are just building supplies, basic things like windows and wood, because they are planning to rebuild. They've been talking about rebuilding already. So those are some of the things that they need, not necessarily basic necessities anymore, but sort of things long-term now, about a week after this.
And David, you've been out there for a few days now. You've met a lot of people. Is there really one story that just kind of stuck with you?
Denise, I'm going to give you two. One, of course, as animal lovers, yourself, Brian, and myself, and many people, just hearing that story of that reunification. You know, that dog was actually with a dog sitter in Lahaina, and the dog sitter jumped in the water, and the dog didn't want to go in the water, and then as you saw there, he was lost for 3 days. But then to have him reunited is just, you know, amazing, really, and does give us hope here. The other story is I met one person who then directed me to another person, and that person had thought that he lost 7 of his family members in this fire, and just today he was at a shelter and he found out that his mother and father, who he hadn't heard from since Tuesday night, were alive and that they were fine. So that just shows you that there is that hope can win here, and that there is so much hope on this island, and that communication still is a problem. As more and more people get back online, they get the cell phone service back, they get the electricity back. But as I mentioned when we started here at the top of the broadcast, there is a lot of frustration because people are getting a bit angry now a week into this.
David, great coverage and great stories you've been bringing us over the last couple of days, and you will continue to do so we appreciate it.